I wish I had words to describe the way I feel, and hopefully our team feels. Very disappointed in our performance, especially in the second half, fourth quarter even. I will say that there was a lot of things coming in the game that I thought I would see, and some of those came through. And when those things we practiced on during the course of the week happened, we had success. When we didn't, we deviated from what we've been doing. We had failure. So I think our defense at times just kept ringing the bell, answering the call, and doing what they had to do. I thought they handled the tempo and tackled fairly well. Obviously, the last two scores just very, very hard to take. I think it was just a tidal wave of emotions going through them there. Frustration being at the forefront offensively. Just didn't ever seem like we really clicked all day. Had a game plan to come out and do some things, run the football inside, outside, whatever they were going to, they're going to line and force us to do. I thought we just didn't connect in the passing game. Had a couple big screen plays and a couple bootlegs early, but in the second half in particular, we just didn't have the connections. Had some drop balls. Had some guys that need to correct. So as coaches, at first I got to own obviously every minute of that film. As coaches, we really got to self-assess what we're asking our guys to do, especially in the second half offensively, and figure out what we can do better because it obviously didn't work. So we got a bye week. We'll really take a self-inventory. I think the biggest thing is we got to be the most improved football team in the country from this next week till we play A&M. A team is very similar to what one we just played, and get a lot better at the details, especially in critical moments. Kicking game will, we may either just go for it all the time, or I'll put another, you're a guy that, again, what you see in practice is what you can believe is going to happen. We had a kicker that was kicking over 95% all the way through fall camp in the first 2 weeks of the season, and to go out there and miss 2 chip shots, especially the second one. The reason I wanted to go for it was a line in the middle of the field. It was basically a PAT, and to doink it with the perfect protection and perfect snap is unexcusable. So we definitely got to find the other option in that regards, because we're not going to go down that path again. So that one we'll move forward on. But that injury-wise, I don't think we really had anybody of significance during the course of the game. A couple of those guys that were there in the defense and just got some guys that, but it wasn't anything significant. So there's nothing from an injury standpoint to be concerned about.
Questions? First one,
Yeah.
Bob.
Brad, they converted pretty well on third downs. You guys not so good. How big was third downs on both sides?
It's a critical area. It's one of our biggest areas that we work on, concentrate, and talk about. Third down for us on offense just never seemed to really be able to have anything that we could go to consistently, and weren't necessarily getting pressure on us. I think there was some pressure at times, but again, routes that weren't open, guys that didn't get free. Defensively, we knew we just need to keep playing. They were going to convert some third downs, but we had to get them out of rhythm, get them off the chains, and again, for the most part, I thought our defense, other than last, whatever that was, 8 minutes, 10 minutes, played really, really good.
Front track, can you assess Austin's play? Was it just, like you said, receivers not getting open, or was it not finding them?
I don't want to be too judgmental until I see the film, but there was definitely some plays where he scrapped alive, made good Austin plays, but I think there were some decisions he'll probably wish he had back, as well as some throws. But I can't assess that right now. Other than we just didn't have success.
Back down to Bob.
Chase Hagan got a couple of carries early, then you didn't go back. Was that just a deal where you felt like it wasn't going to be this day?
I know at halftime they talked about they wanted to, at least the coaches wanted to go with one guy and try to keep him in there and try to keep some rhythm going. And somebody got a hot hand, and I think we came out in the second half. We did have a couple of big plays with David and Devois, but you got 3 big options back there, and I know that we wanted Chase to be in on first, second down. We didn't really, third down wasn't his down today, but first and second down, I can't talk to you about the rotation.
Brett, what all do you think factored into the inability to get the running game cranked up the way you really wanted to?
Well, I first give credit to them, obviously, but everybody's going to. To me, defensive football, they're going to force you when you want to stop somebody from running the football. They're either going to set up the perimeter and not let you run outside, or they're going to jam up the middle and not allow you to run the football up inside. We got in some over formations, had some success out of some unique formations, but couldn't consistently do anything on the ground, and that really affected, I think, our play-action pass game and the ability to find some receivers downfield. I think we got to physically strain a lot harder. It seems like those are smaller players that we wanted to lean on and put some weight on them and try to turn it into our type of game. And again, there were times there when I felt that momentum starting to swing our way, and we do something to shoot ourselves in the foot.
To your right along the wall.
Ty Cleary played in his second game in as many games. How do you feel? How's your confidence him starting on the wall?
Ty's a good player. He had a good week of practice. I can't really comment as to somebody individually on just from the way the game flowed, but I don't think there was anything that glaringly that he did wrong. So I'd assume that he continued to make progress, and he's a good player.
Front track. Bret, with them being a little bit smaller on defense, built for speed, were you surprised that you weren't able to convert some of those third downs and just have success?
Absolutely. Yeah, I really felt that we should be able to lean on them, especially the perimeter guys. They're big guys inside. The D tackles have got some good size, and good stature, but our thought was to try and get on the edges on the defensive ends and try to wear them down a little bit, but we were never able to really consistently get that done.
To your right, Coach.
Coach, you had a little success coming from O'Grady and Patton. Was there a reason we kind of stopped going to the tight ends, or did you see something different, a different look, or?
No, I think there was a couple screen plays you're talking about early with them, yeah, and Patton caught it. We called the same play again later on and went for nothing. I do know that they went back to some of those bootleg plays that hit early. One was Jonathan Nance and one was Patton, but to give credit to them, they shut him down the second time we saw him.
On TV replay, it looked like Nance the road slash after he scored a touchdown.
Yeah.
Did you see or hear about that?
Yeah, I did. The official came over to me and said I couldn't see what he was doing, but he did something. When I went over to him, he said something about brushing the shoulders off. He was emphatic about it when the throat slash, but obviously no room here for any type of hand justice. Just hand the ball to the official. Again, there's some new players, guys that Jeremy Patton jumped off sides in the red zone. Had some first year or guys that haven't played a lot of football do some things that aren't characteristic to what our program is, and those got to be corrected. The good news is you're young players that'll be able to do that.
Any other questions? You can use this mic. Pass it down to Bob.
As far as the kicker, I mean, is Mazza the guy for the A&M game?
Also
or?
Connor Limpert. I just didn't want to go to Limpert. He's a lefty, so it means we got to change out the battery, the man that's holding it. So Connor Limpert has hit the ball well, though, so he'd been what we wanted him to concentrate more on just his kickoffs. And Mazza and Cole have been doing the PATs and field goals, but obviously something's going to have to change to get the answer right.
Coach, the way y'all set up the defense, it looked like y'all wanted them to run it and were forcing them to run. Was it going the way you wanted to for
Yeah, if you told me going into late in the fourth quarter it was going to be a 14-point game, 14-7 on us, I thought we'd have more than that. But I really think those last two touchdowns were just a little bit of they definitely weren't tackling like they were in the first half and setting the edges and do the things. And that's what I kind of really stressed to our players in the locker room is, we've since last January emphasized and talked about the way you finish games, and that is not that's not the group that I've been working with for the last 6 months, and it's definitely something that will be on the forefront of every conversation as we move forward in the next 2 weeks.
Got time for a couple more. First one on the right.
Coach, when you miss those field goals in the red zone and when you get the fumble and can't do anything with it, did you feel the energy on the sideline kind of deflate a little bit because it was a long game?
Those field goals were hard. They're hard. They're down in there. We even talked about it with the first one if we wanted to back it up, but he felt confident, very confident about the angle and the hit. Those are hard to take. You got to, we have a formula for red zone efficiency that if it's not touchdowns, we got to get field goals. And again, that second one is basically a PAT, and the miss that's juvenile. I mean, we gotta do whatever we got to do to make sure that that's something that can be handled in the future. But it takes its toll. I think again, that was probably something that really wore on our defense was just they'd answer the bell, and then especially with the turnover on the kickoff return, it's just unacceptable.
The timing in the passing game, it looked like it was a little bit off, and Jared Cornelius maybe still trying to knock the rust off, maybe.
Yeah, I think we got to get Sudden in the pass game. We had guys that I think weren't separating ourselves. I'll give a directive. I think we're trying to maybe work too many people. We need to just concentrate on here's our our 5 wide receivers. These guys are going to play in the game, get them the reps, and decide who they are. We had a couple deep balls get thrown. We had a guy fall down. I mean, just stuff that doesn't have any place in SEC football.
Last one, Trey.
Brett, did you feel like there was anything with the demeanor on the sideline, or any indication that they would it just kind of seemed a little flat?
Yeah, I think when you continually go out there, we scored, we answered their score, and then really didn't get anything going the rest of the day. And I think that gets very frustrating. It's as coaches you feel it, as players you feel it, and I told the guys at halftime, to win this game, somebody in this room is going to have to rise up and do something they've never done before, and it's not superhuman. I just mean they got to make a 3rd down catch, they got to break a tackle, they got to make a block, just do something that's going to separate themselves in a game and give everybody a chance to win it.